Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we write things down unorthodoxly with the film Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 1 minute at a time. We switch up the format and I go all crazy. My name is Tom Taylor, and Pete Mummert again is not with us auditorially, but he is sitting here near me, just kind of waving his hand around. Not making any sense.
No, there it is. I am Jerry Porter.
And I remain John.
Welcome back, John.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you here to discuss minute 67 with us. And 67 begins with Spalko explaining to Indy that Oxley is quoting Milton, and it ends with Spalko and Indy debating over ideograms.
Now, Tommy, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of this is from what we discussed last week. Compare and contrast Indy and Marion's life with Han and Leia's life.
Oh my God.
Right? I mean, so now we know what
their
happens.
Life together, like them as a couple, or
yes, their life, like them as a couple. Like, okay, so what do we know about, so Indy and Marion, they split apart. It's been 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Han and Leia too, they split apart. It's been 30 years, whatever. They both seem sort of like maybe they soldiered on in their lives, Han and Leia, but you get this feeling that there was something missing. And I mean, are they identical sort of couple arcs?
No. Well, Han Solo stuck around and was like a father and everything. And then, like, they had the tragedy of their son going to the dark side and killing a bunch of people and stuff. And so then he took off, which you can sort of understand. But yeah, Indy's more like, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go get some smokes. I'll be right back. And then, like, 30 years later, they have this.
John, can you weigh in on this?
Yeah, I was going to say thank you for the refresher of what actually happened with Han and Leia, because I was going to say maybe the soldiering on was what kept them together, because once they stopped being soldiers and the rebellion ended, that's when they broke up. But, you kind of threw cold water on that bit of analysis, because they actually stayed together for, 20 years or however long it was until, Ben, God, that was his name, right?
Ben Solo?
Yeah, Ben Solo, went crazy and tried to attack Luke.
Yeah.
Although that is what happened, right? I've only seen these movies once.
That is, yeah. But maybe that was just Han's, that was his excuse to finally get out of there. Maybe he was chafing for years like Indy seemed to have been.
Well, that Harrison Ford, he's a cad and a bounder, and he usually bounds right out the door.
That's right.
It's true. Well, that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
You think, okay, wow, this is we see these, these reunifications, and they come back with the later in life where everybody's mellowed, yet they still have, I don't know, the animosity. Well, certainly Marion is mad.
Yeah, no, she is.
Yeah, Marion's mad.
Yeah, like when Han and Leia are introduced in Force Awakens, there's a kind of like, oh, there's that guy. I kind of love that fella. I'm annoyed with him, and it's weird to see him, but whatever. But yeah, Marion's like, you son of a bitch, you left. Damn it.
Well, so would she have punched him here? Or like in this when they first see each other, but she just can't be bothered. The fact that she doesn't slug him.
Why didn't she slug him?
I don't know.
That would have been great. Well, I mean, we were complaining before that like her whole stance and her line and everything is totally aping Raiders, so maybe they had a little restraint.
Look, had she slugged him, that would have been like
would be furious.
Yeah, that would have been too much. I mean, I have to standing in today as Pete Mummert. Mm-hmm. Tom, are you serious? You would have hated that. You would have hated that.
Sounds just like Pete. No, wait, I do have Pete sitting here, and he's giving me he's handing me an ideogram that he's just drawn, and it's actually hysterical. He says, "Now, what if, and just hear me out here, what if Ox is telling them how to get to Akator?" I like when Pete's here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That's good.
I thought that was funny.
Okay, so hey, what happens if Ox doesn't give them the right answers? Then do they kill Marion?
I guess so. And how are they even going to know what the right answers are? Like, couldn't Indy just say, "Oh yeah, he says you're supposed to turn around and go back to Moscow, and that's the way to Akator," or something? Like, I don't know what. He could lead them on any kind of wild goose chase, couldn't? Although I guess they're like I don't know. The whole deciphering what he's saying and writing comes soon, but not like first. They just want to get information from him. They think that he's trying to tell them verbally something. I don't know. Yeah, this whole the Russians are they don't have it all figured out. I don't think it's all very sketchy.
And I would say the killing of Marion would mean that they would lose their leverage, because killing Marion is not apparently going to affect the Ox any, because he's like off in his own little world and he's babbling to himself
Right.
and he's really not tuned in to what's going on around him. So, killing Marion, is not going to affect him. So they would still need Marion to, like, their backup plan would be Jones, right? It's like, well,
Mhm.
this guy's useless. You find out, and we need her alive to have leverage on Indy.
Yeah. Yeah, but then but what does Indy know though that Ox doesn't know? It's all. I mean,
You know
you're
what?
exactly right. I don't know why.
These
Oh, go ahead.
Russians, it's like the Russians. We talked about this before. Like Spalko has this narrative in her head,
Right.
and it's well defined to her, but not to
Yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. I keep saying this, but I really miss the days where it's like, hey, get the headpiece. You take the headpiece to the room. What do you want to use the headpiece on? Use it on the map room. The map room shows you where the ark is, where the well of the souls. He's just very like A, B, C, D. And this is very like A, like, I don't know, W, let's say. Blue.
Well, yeah, they bring Ox is like this broken tool, and so they
Mm-hmm.
bring Indy in to fix him because he knew him way back when.
Yeah, but why wouldn't Marion be? I still don't know why Marion wouldn't be able to do that. She knows him probably better than Indy. It doesn't seem like Indy has been in contact with Oxley for a lot of time, and Marion's been living with him. So
Okay, so there's a huge line here. John, oh, Tommy, you want to take it?
No, whatever. You go where you were gonna go.
John, I'm just gonna say this, and you just tell me what you think here.
Okay.
Indy says, Harold, they're gonna kill Abner's little girl.
So am I supposed to go like thank heaven for little girls, or Commodores, young girls are my weakness? What are you expecting from me here?
No, well, okay. So look, so he knows Ox from when they're at the University of Chicago, and so Indy back then was hooking up with Marion, who was clearly known as Abner's little girl.
Uh-huh. Well, we already knew that it was sketchy. We already knew.
Yeah, but it's like so Indy is like Indy and Oxley are peers.
Yeah.
And like Indy and Oxley, you think that they're probably within like 3 years of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're in graduate school, they're calling Marion Abner's little girl.
Yeah. What's really weird is, like, without thinking about it at all, I always liked this line. I always thought it was very touching and very like, oh my gosh, like, bringing it back to Abner was kind of nice. And these three guys knew each other and they were pals, and Marion's the daughter. And so, Abner's little girl, she's in trouble. I always thought that was kind of touching and nice. But yeah, once you start thinking about it, it's either, I don't know, it's hard not to say. I mean, we already knew he was creepy. We already knew that Indy and Marion way back when, before Raiders, was creepy.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't think Indy thinks of her as Abner's little girl, but I think that Oxley did and does maybe. And so Indy's talking to him that way.
Well, maybe they did at the time. Maybe they were a thruple.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Jesus
Yeah, we don't know.
Christ. Well,
Swinging early 30s.
the Depression era,
Yeah.
everybody had to share.
Gotta do something to keep warm. Don't know why I went there.
Also, remember, and of course, I wasn't alive back then. Even though thankfully you pointed out that I am the old member of our friend group.
Yeah.
But he took her in because at the time it was, at least if the movies and TV shows of the time were to be believed, it was somewhat scandalous to be a single mother, right?
Yeah,
in polite
yeah.
society anyway.
True.
Now I guess if
true.
you're going to go off to Nepal and start a bar, no one really cares.
Right.
But
They don't ask a lot
in
of
the U.S., people are a little more uptight about those things than we are now.
That's a great point. Well, so
That's a really
okay,
good point.
I'm still thinking. All right, so but what he says to Oxley is they're going to kill Abner's little girl, and you're like, but wait a minute. Up until like a week ago, you were living with this woman for decades.
Wait, that Oxley was?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, but Indy doesn't know
Yes.
that.
Oh, yeah, he might just now be
that's-
putting it together because Mutt had been talking about Oxley. Like, like he lived with him and his
Oh, good
mom,
point,
who
good
Indy didn't know
point.
was Marion. Yeah, so he's just putting that together now. But
God, this movie is just like, it's just like a big, it's like you watch it, you talk about it, you watch it a minute at a time, and then the whole thing it's like an etch and sketch that just gets shaken.
right.
It goes, I'm just
Yeah.
blank. I'm like, that's right. Like that's what this damn crystal skull does to you. I'm staring into the movie Crystal Skull, and it's like I can't see it. It's like,
Right.
be careful, it's going to turn your brain to mush.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
do
where I
think
am. I actually live with Marion, right? I'm not crazy. They live together.
Yeah, I think that's correct. But Indy has not been in contact with Oxley either, else he might know that Marion had been living with him for however
Right.
many years it is.
Right,
So
right.
he's like, oh yeah, we were friends 30 years ago, whatever it was, back when
Yeah.
you used Chicago days. It would be like, if I suddenly saw, and Tom, feel free to Wilhelm scream someone's last name here, but I would see like, Lev again and be,
how could you say that?
and,
Oh my
act
God,
like,
that's
I knew what the hell he's been doing for the last 35 years.
Right. Exactly. I wouldn't even recognize that kid.
No,
But I don't
no.
think, Jerry, are you saying that Oxley and Marion were like romantic, and so we shouldn't be thinking of her as Abner's little girl, or are you just saying? Because I don't think
look,
that they had a thing.
it's very. I agree with you. It's a very touching line, and I agree with you. And maybe in slightly different circumstances, he's trying to snap him out of it. Like they're gonna hurt.
I think he's trying to
Abner's
connect
little
with
girl.
Oxley. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, about Abner and about who
Yes.
he sees as Abner's little girl.
Right. And so
Yeah.
it is. It's a very touching line, and he delivers it really well. But
Mhm.
with what we know, it's a little bit strange. You're like, okay, so Indy's what, 25, 24? The Ox is like, whatever, I don't know, whatever, 23 to 28, and Marion's 18 or 17. I think we said like 17. And so I guess
Maybe,
that's
yeah.
Abner's little girl.
If we're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, if we're lucky. Yeah.
So she's sexy and 17. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying that in the story conferences that
Yeah.
you can read, they were trying to edge it a little in the other direction. Like, 16, 15, Oh, you mean
Yeah,
17?
yeah.
Yeah, like, 14, Like, how about 18? 13 and a half,
Which, yes, we covered in Raiders.
Right.
That's
That's what's great about Marion being back is we can talk about Raiders more.
true. That's
It's
true.
a nice bonus. Thanks,
What do you
Marion.
like about Raiders, John?
I mean, I liked it. It was a good movie. I saw it, way back in the day in the theaters in 1981. I don't remember that day either. But
Yeah.
it was good. I enjoyed it. Not enough to start a podcast about it, but
Who would
I
do
liked
that?
the movie.
Well, all right. What movie would you start a podcast about then?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
Yeah, right now. And you can't say Parliament Funkadelic.
That's not a movie.
No,
Yeah.
but he'd make it a movie. John would.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna tee me up like that, I suppose if I was to do anything like sure, maybe Purple Rain or something.
I was going to say
Someone's already
Purple
done
Rain.
that. And, no, I don't actually have any interest in starting a podcast about any movie.
All right. Be that way.
I mean, look, I'm an incompetent guest. Why would you think that I can host my own podcast?
It didn't stop us.
Exactly. Look at us now. Down to 1 day a week.
Same old, same old.
That's right.
Well, look,
same old.
You had 3 good movies, and you're like, no, we're not gonna bring John on the episodes that anyone's gonna listen to. We're gonna save him for Crystal Skull. So if he completely bombs, no one will be there to notice. Which I think
Wilhelm everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
There won't be as many people listening. Right. I like Mutt. I still like Mutt. God help me. I like that he loves Oxley so much, and they cut to him, and I think he's actually crying, tears coming down his face, and he hates seeing Oxley like this.
Yeah, I noticed that. So he does his Mutt thing, which is like, well, I'm going to take care of it. And, he comes in with this bravado thing, and Marion's like, no, don't, or leave them alone or something. And you're like, what was he going to do?
Right.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have a motorcycle to rev.
Well, I think actually, now that I think he's just like, oh my God, it's Oxley. I think maybe he's seeing Oxley for the first time. He's like, oh my God, there he is. There's the ox.
Mm.
And Marion's like, no, this is between the perverts. Leave them alone. I got to talk. I don't know why Oxley's a pervert. He's not a pervert. Indy's the pervert.
No, he's not. John kind of I feel like I took a shot to the chin when John said thruple.
Right, I'm trying to not picture that.
I know. University of Chicago, man, it's the big city.
Well, they like the classics, right? So they're doing a little bit of the Lewis Carroll thing.
Right, I guess so.
Or some Greek tragedy in there,
Yeah.
Look, I can make a literary reference also. I know a thing or two.
You're good. See, you should be doing a podcast. You got all the bases covered.
Was that a sports reference?
I guess technically, but I think it's in the, general, getting a third base, you can talk about baseball without talking about baseball, I guess. I don't know.
It's in the vernacular.
Exactly. That's the term I'm looking for. It's because I don't know things like the vernacular that I haven't gotten to third base. Anywho, okay, what do we know about auto writing? Pete doesn't have any notes about auto writing. I cannot believe he doesn't.
I
have notes
know.
about
How could
auto-writing.
it talk about just a hole? A hole. He left us just.
Yeah. I suppose we could look it up.
All right. Well, you know what I did look up here is it says here the difference between a pictogram and an ideogram.
See, damn it, that's the one bit of research I did.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. Do it.
No,
do it.
no, you do it.
No.
I just want to be angry. Actually, you do it because I actually don't understand the distinction still.
I don't fully either,
juicy
but
description. And
all right, so Oxley is doing his gesticulations in midair,
hand jive as we call it.
Yes, which is
nice,
which is very cool. And Spalko comes over, and she says, "What did she say? Pictographs, right?"
Or pictogram?
Well, they get
I don't know,
they get a piece of paper and a writing utensil. They hold it up. Now they can see what, it's kind of like, what were those things? What were the things that you used to do? You put the pencil down on the paper and you go around in a circle.
Oh, spirograph.
Spirograph. Yeah. He's doing
cool.
This is like his own version of an ad hoc spirograph.
Right.
And it says, so Spalko, which is funny because what she calls him what is it? A
pictogram?
Pictogram. And he says it's an ideogram.
And they get in a fist fight over what the difference is.
Which is funny because, of course, Indy once again has to, kind of kick the other archaeologist / expert in the Yargles.
Dummy, it's an ideogram.
Yeah, exactly. It says here the difference between a pictogram and an ideogram lies in the words themselves. A pictogram uses a picture of an object, and an ideogram uses a symbol made of geometric shapes to represent an idea.
Oh, wait a minute. Then she's right. They are pictograms. They're not symbols. He's painting or drawing actual. I mean, some of them, I guess, are sort of impressionable or impressionistic shapes, but some of them kind of, I don't know, mountains.
I don't
things,
believe for a minute that Indy is right.
When has he ever been right?
Well, yeah.
He doesn't
Here,
spend
I
much
just-
time in libraries learning things, right? He's mostly out in the field, so
Right.
but he knows things. And I
Yeah.
don't know what auto writing is. I spent 5 seconds trying to look it up, and I didn't find anything. But
There
if
you
I could
go.
coin a word here, a neologism, if you will, it may be some sort of like grapholalia that he's doing.
Hmm.
Now, do I have to bleep that? I can't tell.
No, you don't.
Okay.
So like
All right. Thank you.
glossolalia would be, sort of speaking in tongues and just sort of continually babbling things.
Oh, okay.
Where
Yeah.
I'm coining word grapholalia, which would be continually sort of like writing babble stuff, which is kind of
Oh,
what
which
he's
he
doing in
does.
the air.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
did that in his cell back in fake Mexico. He was like writing, return and return all over the place and stuff.
That's
There you
right.
go. I look forward to the reader comments in the Facebook group that I'm not a part of that will tell me, you idiot, there's actually a word that already exists to describe exactly what you're talking about.
Which is ridiculous because we just heard you coin it just now.
Yeah,
So I don't know what they're
it's
talking about.
writing in
If they
tongues.
are making those contents, then yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm gonna keep writing in tongues. I'm gonna keep throwing that at people. See what they do.
Yeah.
Pictography is a form of writing which uses representational pictorial drawings, similarly to cuneiform, to some extent hieroglyphic writing. La 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 la. All right, that's the pictogram. The ideogram is a graphic symbol that represents an idea or concept. Okay, independent of any particular language and specific words. Why is he using this moment?
Yeah, right.
to differentiate between they're gonna kill Abner's little girl.
Yeah, and why? I mean, honest to God, maybe it's clearer in the next minute, but I do not think these are ideograms based on the definitions we're hearing. Well, here's mine. Okay, a pictogram is a symbol that conveys meaning through its resemblance to a physical object, and that is what Oxley is doing. Examples of pictograms include wayfinding signage, such as in airports and other environments where many people may not be familiar with the language or the place they are in. And then in some cases, pictograms can be coupled with ideograms. Oh, maybe they're both right. Ideograms are graphic symbols that represent an idea or concept. Good examples of the red circle, like the meaning not allowed or whatever. But no, I think these are actually pictograms.
Yeah, the difference is the pictogram is the one that looks like the thing.
Right.
It's like you're like, here's a waterfall, and that looks like a thing. You're like, I'm drawing a a waterfall.
Yeah.
Right. And then the ideogram would be, I don't know if I guess a waterfall was I don't know, I don't know. God damn it.
Yeah.
So she picked the right gram is what you're saying.
She picked the right gram. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like if you had a flower for a waterfall or a shape. Like you're like, waterfalls are triangles.
Her comeback should be, and this would be a great movie, her comeback should be Idiotgram, it's a pictogram.
Let's go to Pete's
Or Idiot
notes.
Gramps, because he keeps writing them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they had this little back and forth because it gave us something to talk about for another, I don't know, 3 minutes. How long have we spent on this?
Well, this is a very, very, very indie exchange where there's where somebody comes up over his shoulder and says something and he corrects them without looking at them.
Right.
Got a little bit like
right now of like when he corrected, not even corrected, but like helped out Brody when Brody's telling the story to the top men. And he's like, Shishak. He like tosses out Shishak. Like, as Brody's telling the story, Indy interjects Shishak. Yeah.
Or even just like
the Danny Meyer restaurant, Shishak.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, or just even like, even like it's kind of he's looking at the wall and it's like Ark of the Covenant. You sure? Pretty sure. Without just kind of. I don't know. It's a little different, but you know what I'm saying. He's
I do know what you mean. There's he's surrounded by maybe experts, and they get in on it with him, but he's got to be the smart guy.
Yeah,
it's weird though. Especially since the audience isn't going to know the difference between the words. It's like we had to look it up.
Yeah,
and now they're arguing about pictograms and ideograms. Oh well, it turns out my hero was wrong. I took the time to look it up. Now what do I have to believe in? And he gets a pad of paper. Is a friendly, helpful.
Pad
of paper. Yeah, that's it. Mutt cries, and he gets some paper, and Oxley draws some pictograms.
But
See, this is
God,
why I miss Pete, because if Pete was here,
I
we'd get
know.
like a whole discursive on the provenance of the paper and what kind of trees it was made from.
Yeah. And how that kind of pad of paper is anachronistic for 56 or whatever this is. Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, doing this without Pete is like when you discover, it's the fall from the Garden of Eden. You discover you're naked.
Right. I always find out I'm naked when Pete's not around.
It's kind
That's
of
why
better
we
than
haven't
finding yourself
hooked up.
naked when Pete is around.
I don't know. I'll never know. Pictograms.
So where is the
Um,
Admiral these days?
He's like putting down some uprising somewhere, or I don't know, leading the troops
Ah,
into glory, or
Yeah.
or
I
a
don't know.
mutiny.
Or mutiny. Yeah,
Well,
that could be.
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be like, oh, now come on. I don't think that would be equitable.
I mean, if you want a mutiny, I mean, I guess I could see your
Yes,
point. But,
I'm really just worried about you. If you mutiny, then think of the consequences when we get back to land.
and I mean, I don't, just you're putting me in a fix because I'm the admiral, and I really shouldn't be allowing this sort of thing. But I kind of do see your point, and so I'm a little torn now.
Yes.
I want to help you guys out, but I'm really not supposed to.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's true. We can't go to Alderaan.
I feel bad for Pete. It's not easy being an
Aw.
admiral. He
But you
never
could sort
should
of
have
fly through it.
You could.
Alderaan is
Yeah.
now kind of like one of those Chinese buildings that has a hole in it for the dragons to fly through. Look, now
Yeah.
you can sort of fly through Alderaan.
So much easier.
There you go. Hey, what's
Takes
your
half an
favorite
hour
Star
less.
Wars movie, John? Real quick.
Empire.
Oh,
go.
look at that. You do have a little bit of that dark side that likes stuff, don't you?
See? Yeah, you're weird. You
Yeah.
like stuff.
No,
Yeah, of
that's
course I have
every
some of the dark side.
every smart person likes Empire best. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't mean to be a snob, but yeah.
I mean, how many years I've been dressing like Darth Vader?
It's kind of true.
That is very much true.
Yeah.
I don't have the asthma, but other than that,
No, but you got the wardrobe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the biliousness. Speaking of biliousness, this
Wait,
just
why?
in from
my birthday buddy.
Yes, that's right.
Hey.
You share the same
Aw.
birthday, the same exact day and actual day as Professor Christy Porter
I
birthdays.
keep forgetting that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
This
that calls
just,
for a boop 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 boop.
It does. It calls from a little extra one, a little more spirited one. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. In a spin-off with Marion and Spalko, which one would drive the getaway car and which one would shoot at the Smokies behind them?
Oh, wow. Wait, Marion and Spalko?
Yeah. In
Wow.
a spin-off.
Yeah. Gosh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. She without even she just knew in the air that this whole thing was like sort of 60s, 70s sitcom
Yeah.
spin-off, aftermath.
I
Whatever.
would say Spalko would drive.
Yeah.
Because she's a sword mistress and she would not be shooting the gun.
All right. Yeah.
Mm,
When they park later and get out and do battle that way, then she'll
That's
get out the
true.
sword and then she'll do battle. Yeah.
that's true.
That's a good point.
Um,
Do they do they have like a Bosley or something? Is this like a Charlie's Angels kind of thing? And it's just two
they
of them, but
probably.
or
Look,
if
if
it's
it-
like,
if it-
what
you
it's
know
like
what
the
it
two
is?
of them and like Willie or something.
I'm gonna go with one of those things of whatever gender inequality in 1970 or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
the women wouldn't know what to do without a Bosley.
Yeah.
I need one
They got a
guy.
Marcus.
You need a dude who's got to tell you which way to go.
I actually sincerely love this TV show, by the way. If Marcus is like a Bosley kind of guy, and he's channeling orders from some recluse to these three indie femme fatales, that'd be awesome.
3 indie femme fatales.
I mean, it'd be like Marion and Spalko, let's say, because that's what we've been given, and then maybe I don't know. Probably
Well, you know
Willie,
what'd
I
be
would
cool
think.
is it should be what was the one from from Last Crusade?
Elsa.
It should be Elsa, but they would pick Willie.
Okay. Maybe Elsa is the Farrah Fawcett to Willie's Cheryl Ladd or something.
Yeah.
They switch between seasons or something.
I've
I
never
got it all
actually
figured out.
seen this TV show.
Are you dead serious? Charlie's Angels? You never seen Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, never. I mean, I was limited to how much TV I was permitted to watch as a kid,
Oh,
so I always
so was
wanted to watch
I.
cartoons and never watched, sort of adult programming in the evening. I have seen the movies though.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah, unfortunately, I did see the one with Kristen Stewart, but I did very much enjoy the ones with Cameron Diaz because Cameron Diaz was in it.
Sure. Well, see, that's
Yeah.
how I felt about the show. I don't think I ever saw the show until I was a little bit older. But when it was on, I would see commercials for it, even though it was on past my bedtime, and my mind filled in all the blanks. And I
You
laid
know,
awake.
listen, saying adult programming and Charlie's Angels in the same sentence.
Right.
I mean,
Makes
is
you
that
know you're 10.
true?
I mean,
Like, was Charlie's Angels on at like 10 p.m.?
Well,
maybe like 9 or something. 8.
Like it was
maybe
on when I
10.
was in elementary school, so my definition of what adult programming was
Right,
different.
yeah.
I led by
Yeah.
saying I wanted to watch cartoons, which were definitely
Mhm.
not adult programming.
Well, depending on which cartoons.
Yeah. Oh.
Josie and the Pussycats got a little risque there every once in a while.
Once again, never saw the show, like the
Whoa.
movie.
All right.
My gosh,
Let's see.
it's incredible.
Johnny Sacco, Speed Racer. Okay.
Never saw the Speed Racer show because my parents thought it was too violent, but I did quite enjoy Johnny Sacco and his flying robot and Ultraman. If we're taking a walk down
Ultraman
memory
was
lane,
cool.
because apparently
Yeah.
we don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
Movie? What movie? Oh, yes, movie. I'm sorry.
Oof.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
67. There you go.
67. There was not much there. 67, but we did what we could. Thank you. John, I hope you had a nice time. Maybe you're still having a nice time. I don't know.
Well, I'm a little disappointed because, we have someone who's from Cleveland here, and
Yeah.
19 minutes in, the place did not go crazy.
That's wow. Did you just make a Northfield Park reference?
I did, just for my Cleveland listeners.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
I didn't get that.
Now, Northfield Park has been purchased by, I believe, it was the Hard Rock Casino. It was a racetrack. It was like a betting racetrack, and I believe it was purchased by, I think, the Hard Rock, maybe. And I have no idea who owns it now or whatever happened.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you either. I know very little bit about Cleveland trivia, but I know that they used to run commercials that their catchphrase was every 19 minutes the place goes crazy.
Yep, I got you. Well,
Wow. I need to bone up on my Cleveland lore,
that's pretty good.
or do I?
You probably don't.
I'm probably
that's all right.
fine. I'm probably doing just
Northfield
fine.
Park.
Yeah. Man.
Gone. All righty.
Well, on that note, on the lingering note of the Northfield Park, whatever that is, John, thank you for joining us. 2 weeks in a row, you knocked it out of the park. These were tough minutes, but we made the most of them. And we thank you
very
for that.
much, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been good talking to you. It's been a long time.
Indeed it has.
Yeah.
Stop
Thank
being
God
a
for
stranger.
podcasts.
I mean,
All right.
you've always been strange, but maybe
Yeah.
you're taking it a little too far.
Now, listen,
Yeah.
no, that's Tommy for you. Tommy doesn't.
It
We
is.
started this podcast because we didn't talk to each other anymore. That was
I
just
know.
it. Yeah. it was the
And now
whole
all we do
thing.
is talk about stupid Indiana Jones.
I
I
know,
don't know what's
it's-
going on in Jerry's life. I think he has a cat or something. I don't know. I had a dream the other night. I posted about this on Facebook. I had a dream that I saw a good friend of mine from like decades past, and we were just hugging, and it wasn't like a romantic thing or anything. It was just like this beautiful, I know you and love you, and you know and love me, and it's just a beautiful, nice thing. And I woke up and I was like, you know what? I should get in touch with everybody I know who really means something to me, and just cut through everything, and just let them know that they're great and that they mean a lot to me. And then I'm like, that's creepy. I'm not going to do that. That's awful. That would ruin it. They'd run away. There would be no new bonds forged or anything like that. It'd just be like a big
Oh, they wouldn't.
backfire.
They would. This is like the reverse of A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
You get visited by the ghosts, in this one, nice ones, and you're
Yeah.
like, nah, bah humbug, it's all a dumb dream.
Shut up.
Well, as someone who went to a funeral today, let me suggest that perhaps you should reach out to people that mean something to you and say hello and all that sort of thing. So rest in peace, Bruce, and rest in peace, Shock G, who also
we
died
just learned about
today.
Shock G.
Yeah.
That's awful. Yeah. Well,
Now people know what day we recorded this.
I know we've dated the podcast. Oh my God, they
know.
record that far in advance and they can only do one day a week? This is ridiculous. But if I was going to get in touch with everybody though, like what I'd have to make a list first of all, and then who makes the cut? Like
you just follow your heart.
Oh, my heart. When does that ever work?
Well, you have to find it first.
I know. I don't know. Maybe I'll just start with my son. I'll tell my son I love him. I don't think he knows.
Well, he's what, 14, 15? Maybe it's about time you told him.
All right. I'll slip him a note.
Oh, wait, no, almost 14, right?
That's right. On the brink. Although after this airs, he might be 14 by now.
All right.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll work on that. Everybody, work on contacting everybody you love and let them know that they mean a lot to you. And I'll try to do the same, by which I mean I probably won't. But we will be back in a week for minute 68 of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
You know, they could have made a good fourth movie, but their chance was blown!
We needed that.